Children attack elderly home and are recorded by security camera. The COVID-19 pandemic has indeed changed the world completely. World powers such as European countries and the United States have been affected by the coronavirus. Since the discovery of the virus in Wuhan in late 2019 and its subsequent spread throughout the world, people have had to confine themselves to avoid catching it and infecting the loved ones they love. Many people have taken advantage of this confinement to share with their families and do things that during ordinary life were impossible due to lack of time. However, for those who do not feel the support and closeness of anyone, the pandemic can become a trigger for despair. That's why there are institutions that shelter and provide support to those who for various reasons feel marginalized from society. Such is the case of the Hancock House, an old people's home in Chicago where elderly people who have been displaced and forgotten by the new generations can spend their last days in peace and tranquility. In addition to providing a safe haven for these people, they're also offered the opportunity to feel loved and cherished by someone. This is thanks to the good treatment they receive. Now, if on the one hand there are those who have taken advantage of this time of confinement to spend quality time with their loved ones, on the other hand, there are those who, tired of being locked up, have lent themselves to commit vandalism. This is how a group of children bored with a pandemic decided to wreak havoc on the Hancock home for the elderly. What for the children probably represented a pleasant time, for the residents of the home meant the end of their peace of mind that fall. This would not be the first time that this group of infants would do their own thing. A week earlier, they fired a paintball at a student who just arrived in town from Memphis. Hancock House property manager Arletha Patterson would say so, unaware that days later her charity home would be vandalized. What these kids never imagined before planning their fun was that their every move was caught on camera. This is how Kiara Cunningham, mother of Jashawn, one of the children behind vandalism, found out that her son was behind the incident. Cameras managed to capture on video 3 children entering the room and then stealing 2 fire extinguishers and firing them at the wall. Despite the efforts of some of the elderly to stop them, the boys managed to get away with it. It was then that the administration of the center, together with its residents, decided to appeal to the authorities. The Chicago police came to see the images and start the investigation, and then the whole thing made the local news. That's when Kiara realized that one of the 3 children was her 10-year-old son. She was simply astonished and couldn't believe what her eyes saw. She never thought her son capable of such a thing. For her part, Arletha, the manager of the place, told reporters that she would like to talk to the little ones and make them apologize to the elders they've terrorized. Kiara, who worked as a security guard, was surprised to see her son on national television screens. Her job is to maintain building security, so she found the fact ironic and surprising. "That's my son," she shouted. "My son is on the news." Indeed he was, but not for the good reasons any mother would be proud to see her son on TV. She'd later tell the media, "I replayed it again to make sure I was seeing what I was seeing." As a good mother, Kiara knew her son well, at least enough to distinguish his body and gait from any distance. Grief-stricken by the incident, she thought of teaching her son a lesson. The best course of action was to accompany Jashawn back to the asylum and make him acknowledge his mistake in front of everyone. "You're going in there," she'd say to him, "and apologizing. You guys terrorized those poor people." She'd also explain to him that one of those people could have been her grandmother. "It could have even been me in there," she added. "That's something you don't do." Jashawn went to the senior center to apologize and explain himself. "I'm sorry I broke into your house or took your things," he told Arletha Patterson. She accepted his apology with much professionalism and humility. When asked how the boy felt about seeing his mother's anger, he replied, crestfallen, "Sad." Kiara claimed her son was in the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong people. After that, she affirmed she was fulfilling her role as a mother to the fullest. To all this, Patterson was moved, saying, "To come here and see the 2 of them, I have nothing but love and respect. We're here to help." And so I would. The asylum manager immediately realized that Jashawn needed new and better friends to keep him out of trouble, so she put him in touch with Marlon Haywood, a mentor from the Urban Male Network. Haywood, who was Patterson's nephew, was a perfect mentor for Jashawn. When he learned that the vandals were children between 8 and 10 years old, Marlon decided to intervene. In his experience with young people, the mentor had come to understand that the pandemic was a difficult period for children, especially for children of single parents who must go out to work. "It saddens me to see the news of everything that's going on. I think it's important to understand that at the end of it all, they're just kids," would be the words of Jashawn's new mentor. Marlon also had a few words for Kiara. He said, "I know all it takes is having the right people around you to guide you in the right direction." From that moment on, Marlon would become Jashawn's best friend. They'd play together and develop the boy's creative side instead of his destructive one. On top of that, the mentor was going to promise him tickets to upcoming games between the Bulls and Lakers if Jashawn decided to stay in the senior building as part of his apology. Jashawn became in charge of helping keep the building tidy and picking up leaves from the senior center. In doing so, he'll be able to get to know the seniors in the community. Urban Male Network has been mentoring about 100 Chicago boys and teens over the past few years. It's good to know that Jashawn will have someone to help him find the right direction and stay out of trouble.